Every story has side characters. The friend who appears in chapter 3 and never leaves. The stranger on a train who says one sentence you never forget. The person who hurt you so deeply their shadow shows up in scenes they're not even in. Some people enter your life like commas, small pauses. Some arrive like paragraphs. They change the direction of the page. Welcome back to the story you become. This episode is called Side Characters and Co-Authors. When we think about our life story, we often focus on my choices, my growth, my pain. But your story is woven from countless crossings with other people's stories. Parents, siblings, teachers, lovers, friends, colleagues, even strangers all leave fingerprints on your narrative. Imagine someone named Kavya finally telling the story of a relationship that ended badly. She tells friend A, I stayed even when it hurt. I don't know why I couldn't leave sooner. Friend A says, wow, that's kind of on you. I would never put up with that. In Kavya's story, this moment might become another proof of, I'm weak. Even my friends think I'm ridiculous. Later, she tells friend B, she says the same words, maybe even more shakily this time. Friend B listens and replies, it makes sense you stayed. You were hoping they'd change. You did what you knew then. The important thing is, you left when you could. Same past. Two witnesses. Two completely different impacts on how Kavya might see herself. This is the quiet power of side characters. They can tilt the angle of your story a few degrees at a time, toward shame or toward understanding. Not everyone who shapes your story does so kindly. Some people shrink you. The partner who makes you doubt your sanity, the parent who only notices your mistakes, the friend who disappears when you're not fun enough, the boss who never sees your effort, only your errors. Others stretch you. The teacher who says, you're good at this, keep going. The friend who remembers your dreams when you forget them. The colleague who recommends you for an opportunity. The person who says, I see what you're trying to become. Both kinds of characters leave traces in your inner narrative. If you'd like, we can do a small reflection together. Think of your life story as a series of scenes. Now let a few people come to mind who have had a strong impact on your sense of self. They might be family members, friends, ex-partners, mentors, even critics. Choose three. For each one, quietly ask, what sentence did this person leave in my story about who I am? For example, you are too much. You are special. You can't do this alone. You are strong even when you don't feel it. See if one sentence per person emerges. Now gently notice, which of these sentences still feel true and nourishing? Which feel heavy, limiting, or outdated? You don't have to throw anything away right now. Just acknowledge that some lines you might want to keep and some you may one day choose to rewrite. You can't control everyone who walks into your story. People will leave, disappoint, surprise, hurt, and sometimes save you in ways you didn't see coming. But as an adult, you have more say in who gets a recurring role. Co authors are the ones who make it easier to be honest in your own pages, respect your boundaries and your growth, don't punish you for changing, can apologize and repair, hold both your light and your shadow without turning you into a caricature. They are not perfect, they make mistakes, just like you. But the overall effect of their presence is that your story feels more alive, more authentic, more possible. There's another side to this. You are a side character in other people's stories. In someone else's memory, you might be. The one who smiled at them on a terrible day, the one who sent a message that kept them going, the one who hurt them without realizing, the one who believed in them before they believed in themselves. You don't control how others narrate you, but you can choose how you show up in their chapters. You can be a person whose presence makes it easier for others to tell the truth about themselves. Thank you for listening to Side Characters and Co-Authors. Your story is not written alone. It is braided with the stories of everyone who has ever touched your life. If it feels right, you might spend a few minutes this week writing down the names of two people whose presence stretches your story in a good way. And if you can, let them know. In our next episode, Agency and Choice, The Turn, we'll explore the moments when the plot doesn't just happen to you, but when you stand in the doorway of a decision and choose the next direction of your story. Until then, may you have the courage to invite in co authors who help your life feel more like the story you actually want to live.